Thirsty and 30.
Hi, Bea. Hi, guys. I'm Shari. Welcome to season 2 of Thirsty and 30, a blind thing, the blind chat show on Smarter Love.
Hi, Shari. Kanina na umubo ko, pero parang mali umubo
Bawal
ngayon.
umabo. It's illegal.
Yes, so I'm Bea. And so, Shari and I, we've made the mistakes before so that you don't actually have to. And, as usual, we got you, ladies and gents. We're going to be your researchers, and we've done a bit of research on tonight's topic. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bea, we haven't gone live in a couple of weeks. So, hello to people coming in. Hello to our usual watchers. Hello, Mike. What's up?
I also want to say hi to Rob, who's a pharmacist, and I think she's gonna catch up. But hello. Yeah. So,
Hello.
Sherry, tonight we have a special topic, and it's been requested by one of our listeners on how to handle jealousy. So, in a graceful and healthy way. Our theory, we always have theories in this show, and basically, our theory is that jealousy is very normal and a natural experience. It's really what you do with it that would prove if you have my favorite word, tililing or not.
Dililing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, jealousy has a dark side, Bea, like the Force. It can get intense with our obsessive stalker abilities. But since we are your virtual best friends, guys, we invited two real life best friends to make this topic approachable and relatable. This is a no judgment zone. So, we have with us tonight beautiful besties, Ava and Jerry. That's pretty name.
I'm
Hi,
excited.
Ava, and hi,
Hi.
Hi
Jerry. Hi,
guys.
ladies.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
So,
for having us.
on our show, we usually have an icebreaker because we want to get
Okay.
to know our guests. So let's start with
Okay.
our favorite icebreaker. What is your go-to lande move?
Okay, I
Hmm.
think I know mine.
Okay.
Aside from trying to be funny, I think for me is looking some like eye contact. Like I always feel that that works for me, especially when like you're in a group and you're trying to be like, oh my god, he's cute. But like when you're sorry, Luch. But before I was married, parang I'd say a funny joke, whatever, and then I'd always just like see if they're looking, medyo creepy. But yeah, that's my go-to London move.
Oh my god, I'm gonna try that next time I see people. I'm just
Wag
gonna
naman yung creepy though, yung parang
Just like
subtle lang.
stare.
I never crack a joke unless he checked me. How about you, Jerry? What's your
I
go-to
would say
What's
lande?
also
yours?
like very similar. Okay, it's just like Ava and I are very similar people. So I would say very similar. Like be funny, be friendly, make conversation and eye contact definitely. Like in fact my husband, he says that the reason he kissed me when we met was because I had kiss me eyes. Daw.
Paano yan? Paano
Daw.
Ano
yan?
yung kiss me
But
eyes?
I
Ano mo
find that
naman yung
hard to
eyes?
believe. But no, but I find that hard to believe because I was really drunk. I was probably duling.
Baka yung
And
kiss me eyes tuloy.
I'll speak for Jerry. Her Malandi moves, I can see it because I know when she's like on the radar because I see her, she's like, she'll laugh and she'll hold a little. I'm like, okay, she likes him. You can tell. You guys, I want to know what are your
Alam na.
Malandi moves so we can learn from you naman.
Ako personally, I'm a palpak lande. I told you my go-to is always like, yeah, I try to be funny.
Yeah.
I get a little bit like mapalo, and I always try to do like a wink, like a puppy. Oh, ganun.
Parang
Does it
comedian
work?
lang.
Oo nga.
I can't do
Okay
the
naman.
wink because mine has a twitch. So
Oh my
my
God.
go-to landi move is always giving a book. It's so dorky. I always give them a
So
book.
Is that
cute.
Para feeling smart. But anyways,
Okay.
it's worked
That's so
really
cute.
well.
So Any guy that's listening that has received the book from Bea, you know.
Then you
Let's
know.
just
Yeah,
make
then
You
it
you
clear.
know,
know.
it's true though. Now I can't use it. But okay. God.
It's so
So
Wow.
yung
funny.
lending mo pa like investment, Bea. You have to purchase
Oh,
Oh,
one for
mahal ah.
every
I
get
know
you
it's not
make.
free. My
it's
God.
No, she has
best
a
and
stock.
favors.
She has a stock of books na pala there.
What is an
Oh,
old book?
same one.
Free.
If it's an old book, you need to pay the call. If it's a new book, then
Didake for everybody.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ladies, we usually start off, besides an icebreaker, we have an anonymous letter, and this is one from our listener. So we just want to get kind of your input or advice on this.
Okay.
So, dear thirsty girls, so like all good stories, I'll start with I've fallen for this guy. We've been dating for 1 year since 2020. Okay, good for you, girl. Initially, it was a virtual romance first, but since we are now vaccinated, we get to see each other more, but only at my home. Anyway, it's been going very well, very romantic, and of course, we've been able to really talk about our past. He shared with me that he had an ex girlfriend for 2 years, just before the pandemic. They broke up just before the pandemic. Anyway, I acted like a cool girl and just listened. But after I went into super stalker mode, now I can't get her out of my mind. So one afternoon, when we were on a coffee date, I asked him if he still has photos and text messages of this girl. He admitted that he does. I asked him if it's okay that he deletes them, including the ones in his social media accounts, because I'm bothered by it. He replied, "It's a hassle." So I dropped the case, but I can't stop thinking about it. What do you think? Is it really a hassle? And how should I approach the topic again? Help, Miss I can't stop thinking of his ex. Sorry, I need a break.
Oh God.
It's so funny. I feel like I know who that is for some reason because I have so many friends na ganon.
Wow. Okay, what do
Um,
you think?
I honestly, I would be hassled to do that. Like if I had to delete, I don't know how many photos I would have to delete off my social media. And like, I don't know. I'd just be like, can we just move forward? Like, do
Yeah.
we have to? Like, so I kind of get that hassle part, but I also get like, if it bothers her, I guess she doesn't want other people seeing it, type of thing.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
understand why he would say it's a hassle. It's not just like one click and it's done, right? Like the
Mhm.
photos part, especially, that's a lot of work. So
Yeah.
I kind of get that part.
Uh, for me though, like I get from a guy's point of view that it's a hassle, but also like if he knew that it, I mean he knows how girls operate. I feel like he'd go out of his way to help. And but my advice is more for the girl because like that's I was saying I have a lot of friends that actually like why does he still have these photos like at the end of the day like I completely get it but the coolest and the best thing to do especially since they just started to hang out is just completely pretend they don't care and it's the hardest thing to do but it's like just be like okay whatever and nothing and my husband always tells me this like nothing is sexier than a girl who's like confident and like okay that's cool that's fine I mean that's my advice but it's so hard to follow so I get it but
Like to play it
that
cool.
would but at the same time
Okay.
guys who are listening it's like can you just do it parang if it doesn't take anything
Do
away
it
from you
not to
just
make
freaking
them
do it.
happy. Do it to
Delete mo
make the
na
girl
lang.
happy.
Wait, have you
Yeah.
ever asked anyone to delete those memories? Or has anyone ever asked you both to delete?
No.
Mm,
And
no.
no. I've never my boyfriend and my husband have never asked me, but I think I've gone back and like it's embarrassing to be like delete because I think I'm so much pride to be like delete this. I'm like okay this picture, but I'll make him understand that I'm like this is weird. Why is this here? But
Yeah.
I'll never
I've never been
outright be
asked, but
like can you
I've
delete?
gone like through my profile pictures, maybe like there. That's where I'll be like, okay, this I can delete. But I'm not gonna
Mm-mm.
go through like my Instagram feed from like how many years ago and then delete
Also,
everything.
Jerry, you're also friends with your ex. Like, that would
Yeah,
be
I'm
like
friends with my ex,
weird.
so it's like it would be like, why did you, I don't think he would care, but I also don't care to delete it. But I'm just more hassled to do it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
But
I
for the writer, what do you guys think? I mean, for the person who
yeah.
wrote
I
it, what
think
would you
for a
say?
girl, it also depends. How many photos are we talking about? Is he like obsessively like he has so much photos it's really hard to delete, or is it
That's true.
three freaking photos on his Instagram?
So
Tapos
true.
ayaw niya delete. Red flag yun. Pero kapag
Yeah.
sobrang dami, he has to sift through it. Parang feeling ko that's wala, okay lang yan.
Yeah, like if it was from
Then-
when they were together and it's just like in all his photos,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oo.
But if it's his wallpaper,
Oo.
Or it's like a special
Girl,
album.
ba
with
yan?
him, like that's something else.
Buto mo yung phone.
That's a red
Tama
flag.
yung phone.
so
Yeah.
Miss, I can't stop thinking of his ex. I think the one thing that's always worked for me is just be straight up and ask, "Are you over your ex or not?" And if whatever they answer straight up, hindi yung pasikot-sikot na,
Well, like that.
yeah, no. If he says yes or no, that's it. Take it as is, and that's all that matters.
Take it as is,
Agree.
pero still,
Pero
make
ano,
sure.
analyze.
Oo, yun.
Analyze.
Oo. Don't always take it as is, pero almost. Okay,
Yeah.
so Miss, I can't stop thinking about his ex. I hope we help.
Yeah.
And yun nga, watch out na lang. Labo joke, tinakot eh.
The worst. Just be cool, but watch out.
Just watch out.
Pero
Be cool,
ingat ka
but
lang.
watch out. Eyes in the back.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, I'm really excited to talk about this whole jealousy thing. So ladies, we always do a 3-parter on our show. So part 1 is going to be all about having a jealous partner. Part 2 is about being the jealous partner. And then part 3 is overcoming jealousy in general. So let's start with part 1, having a jealous partner. Do you think that having a bit of jealousy can be healthy? Jerry, let's start with you.
Okay. I think it does okay, for me, like in my relationship now with my husband, he is like zero jealousy, like zero to the point where when we were not married yet, I'd be like, do you care? I'd be like, do you even give a shit? So we were long distance and he was living in the States and I was flying back and forth. And I have a lot of guy friends that I'm very close with and we're really just friends. And I would go to dinner with them like that. And it was like never an issue for him. And it came to the point where I was like, wow, this guy, like, he doesn't care. So I asked him, like, straight out, I was like, do you care? And he's like, no, I mean, they're your friends. But sometimes, of course, as a girl, you're like, well, I just want you to be like a little jealous. Like, why don't you ask me, like, oh, you're having dinner with this guy, or you're going out, like that. But he just didn't care. And so it was like, please, can you just be a little jealous? But wala. Wala.
Wala. Okay.
I super
I
get that.
Yeah.
Like
about
Jerry
you,
and I are quite similar in the sense that our husbands are super like, okay, you just do your thing.
We
Um,
married like the same guy, pretty much.
Cute.
Like they're super similar. But what's that? One, like, I think for me, I do feel a little bit of jealousy is healthy for the relationship because, like Jerry said, na parang it shows that you're a little bit concerned. And one time there was this one time my husband was like, oh, so you're, parang he asked me something again about another guy, and I was like, oh, it made me feel really kidding. And I think that's why my answer for that is, yeah, a little bit of jealousy
Yeah.
makes it exciting. At least it makes you feel like, oh my god, you care. But
like, you
also, there's a really fine line between, well, not really that fine actually. You can tell when someone's like overly jealous. Of, can you just let me live? Versus like, oh, you care. So yeah, I do think so.
It's
There's
a
a difference.
borderline a bit of care.
Care versus psycho.
Yeah, we all had those psycho moments when we were young, for sure. Like
When we were young.
well, we never know. I swear, we're good at stalking. But when does it actually
Girl.
become unhealthy? I just gave one example, right? When you start to stalk, when you're underneath your bed sheets and you're looking
Isn't
at
it so fun though?
that person.
It's fun to stalk.
It's so fun. You're like, I'm so
like you
deep
go
in
down
this
a black
cousin's,
hole.
Sisters,
You're, like, going.
friends page.
Did you ever accidentally like a photo while
I
stalking?
have.
No, I
No,
do that to threaten my
thankfully
friends. I'm
not.
like, sige ka. I'm gonna like,
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm gonna press like when I'm like, show me the guy you like, and then they'll show me, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna press like, okay.
From like 10 years, like 5 years
Gago.
ago by your phone.
super down
Yeah,
the feed.
super back.
When does it become unhealthy, do you think? Like based on like some of your friends' stories and not obviously naming names, but
Kasi
just
with
seeing
ano,
something.
just, no,
Well,
but
Ava,
for me, I really feel it becomes unhealthy when, at least from my experience, like when you're limited from like you can't hang out with a certain person. When talagang wala naman that, when parang he's a really good friend of yours, or like I experienced once, like I couldn't hang out with a cousin of his because I'm like, hello, I'm just like Jerry and I feel like you guys too are like the type who gets along with guys really well.
Yeah.
You end up also like hang out with the group of guys more often. So parang if you're limited to you can't do that. That for me feels like what the hell? Like let me live my life.
You
Yeah.
you
And
feel
I
like
feel like that's
restrained
unhealthy.
almost, like when there's like rules, like super set rules. Especially if you've not given them reason, or like if it's like a group thing, it's like no, you can't hang out if he's there and you're in a group. Like, well,
Yeah.
why not? There's like five other people here. It's not just us. You know what I mean? And I think that would
Hmm.
be unhealthy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
What do you guys think? I want to know.
Well, I think like
Uh,
once you
yeah.
start to like be scared, like when you start to fear like talking to your partner about that situation,
that's true.
or start to question yourself after you talk to them about it, parang I think that's starting like a little insecurity in yourself. That's unhealthy.
That's so true, actually. Once you start
That's
to fear,
super
because then
true.
you're constantly like worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you,
Yeah,
Sherry?
that's true.
I think we naturally know naman when something's a little bit over na eh. I mean, it's cute when it's cute, and then sometimes when you feel like you're
Yeah.
so constricted, and you're like, okay, this is a little bit much. I think
Yeah.
that's when it kind. I mean, there's not really a line drawn, but you know it. You know the intention, even if it's a jokey thing. Na, "Wait, don't hang out with a friend of yours." Joke, pero deep down inside, alam mong
That's
galit.
even
You
worse.
know it's
Yung
meant
parang
Yeah,
you're
to.
you're
trying
like,
to make it a joke. No, but really
Yes.
he means
Yoko
it.
yan ah.
That's so annoying.
I
I
know.
mean, we
Always.
like to joke. We won't go straight up. Like, do you find that girl hot? Like, she's hot or not
Yeah,
hot? But
that's what I would do. Is like I'll
Pasimple.
just ask him straight up like, do you find her hot? Are you attracted? Like,
are you looking?
I'm not gonna like beat around the bush and be like, oh, like no, I'm just gonna be like straight, like okay,
Analyze
yeah,
it.
Or like, bawal yan. Stop.
yeah, okay, then no, no. If that's the answer, no,
Uh-uh.
That's
So
so funny.
have you guys been in a with a very jealous partner in your past?
no. Thankfully,
Good.
Jerry's really lucky, but I mean, I've been with one, and it was. I mean, it's really really weird because when you're not when you have no reason to be at all, and then someone's jealous, you're like, huh? Like I said, parang I couldn't hang out with a cousin,
Yeah.
and the brother at one point. I was like, that's what it means. I only have a few relationships, so
Yeah.
parang I stop listening. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really weird and it doesn't make sense. And that's when you kind of know that okay, that's weird. That can't happen.
like it's not healthy.
And
How did you
it's
handle
not
it?
something. It was a lot of fights actually. It was like fights that were unresolved. Kind of like okay, let's move on because no one's gonna accept. And for me, I was like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like you're the one who introduced me. You want to hang out with them. Tapos in the end, I can't pala to. Parang ano yun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I think like in the end, he also like understood. Parang he just had to understand that I'm the type of girl who really gets along with guys,
Yeah.
and
which you are. True, it's true.
not study, but gets along with guys.
Oh, I want to say
Just a
True.
hi to
disclaimer.
our friend Camilla. Hi Camilla, what's up?
Hi. Tell us about
Oh,
jelly.
I just saw that.
That's so cool.
I know. I was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
Camilla.
Hey,
you can
Cam.
show. Okay, so they actually did some research a while ago. It reminded me when you guys
Yeah.
said about it's kind of cute when somebody's a bit jealous. But tell us about your research.
Thank you so much for. Well, you know what? A
The
lot of
intro.
women message us about like infidelity, and it's always really heartbreaking. And they always send me this author, Esther Perel, who's like the queen of relationships for a lot of people, and she had a full chapter on jealousy on her book Mating in Captivity. And what she's saying is like jealousy is not bad. It's an erotic rage. Syempre malalim si girl. But like
That is the best way to say to
That's
explain
a
yeah,
jealousy
good
or
or erotic
excuse
rage.
to use.
yes. Or like you know how oysters are aphrodisiac. I feel like jealousy can sometimes drive a relationship to be better or get out of like monotonous ways. Because you get so used to your partner and then it's like, okay, this is what we do every day, every week. And then when you get jealous, you have to step up your game. You have to
Mm.
That's so true. Now that you
True.
put it that way, parang it's like a red flag or a green flag. Like, okay, parang it tells you if someone's like when someone's overly jealous, it's like, okay, you need to get out of that.
You
Yeah,
don't want to
Whereas with
be
the
in
green
that
flag, it's like, oh, who
relationship.
cares?
and we're competitive.
That's
I think women are naturally competitive. So
which
when
is
you
good
Yeah.
also.
So you want to be better. It makes you
Yeah.
like do things you wouldn't normally do, maybe.
it's like you think
You
she's hot,
become
Interesting.
I'm gonna squat. Wait
oh,
lang,
nga.
squat.
Oh nga.
But
She
Wait
That's
lang.
so
is
cool.
flexible. I'm more flexible. Labo. Okay.
but
Ay, tama.
I think we were talking about if you've ever been with a jealous partner, and I like myself. I've never been like with a jealous partner. A lot of the guys have been very chill, but I have been somewhat jealous when I was younger. And I guess part two is really about you both and being a jealous
Yeah.
partner. Are you are you both a jealous partner or was what is it past tense or yeah? What are your thoughts about jealousy and for you? Nahirapan ako. But
Uh,
silosa talaga ako. Alam mo yung parang,
I think I mean Jerry and I are specifically with each other. We have each other to be like, oh my god, he's like this
like
specific
it's
girl,
always
and
straight each other. Yeah.
I love having her as a soundboard, and parang I think I am. I do feel like it's not like a overly. I mean, then again, let me ask my husband. But I asked him. He's like, "You're not the man." I think I am specifically when he asks about. For example, he gets introduced to a girl, and then he asks me more than usual questions. I'm like, "Why ba?" But I did. There was this one time when we started dating, and parang he was asking about a specific girl, and I was like it took so much for me to say like, you know what, it really makes me jealous when you ask when you ask things about this girl. And he specifically called me and he was like, that's amazing that you can actually acknowledge it, and I really admire
Yeah.
you for that. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna do this every time. So every time
Acknowledge all your
I'm
guys.
jealous.
Then you get the
No,
points. You
but
look good pa.
yun nga. But my point
Everyday
was
na
na
lang
parang
din.
I never realized like in our perspective it's so justified, whereas from the guy's perspective it's like that's insane.
Yeah.
But I like that you're able to be aware of that because that's the first step as to like let's help you get over that together. So yeah, I do think I'm jealous. Um,
I
and
love
yeah,
that. Own it. How
Mm.
about you,
Jerry,
Jerry and Sherry?
I'm
I
jealous.
telling you, Ava and I are the same. I do think I'm jealous, but I was definitely more jealous when I was younger. I think I
Yeah,
wasn't as secure in my relationship as I am with in my relationship now. But
yeah,
even then, there are still instances where I will get jealous, and it's not really like I mean honestly, if you guys meet my husband, you'll be like, don't na be jealous. He's just a nice guy. Like don't na. But it's parang, I tell Ava like, okay, I don't want to be jealous. I don't want to feel this way, but I can't help it.
yeah,
It's just like there, like certain situations and things like that. But it's not to the point where I think it's like obsessive or possessive type.
Yeah.
It's like there's just certain situations that will make me jealous, but it's not that it's gonna turn into a big fight or anything. It's like I'll just talk to Ava about it na lang.
Yeah.
it helps so much to have that
Yeah.
friend to listen to you and be psycho with that friend and be like, look at this picture.
And then like Ava will like side with me. I'll be like, this is her picture. And Ava's like, oh, she's not worth it.
You need it. Sherry, go
Well,
ahead.
again, hindi yan threat.
Ikaw, are you jealous?
I Yeah, I think I am a bit of a jealous person, but not naman too intensely. I mean, even with my friends, sometimes like Sina Mariela and I, we're like, oh, you're getting too close to this group of people, ah. Sino kayo?
No, that's good. That's good to call them out para casual, diba?
Oo, parang,
Yeah.
you're getting
It's
too
not
tight, ah.
intense.
Sino best friend mo, ha? Well, mga stupid
Yeah.
things like that. Pero deep down inside, you're subtly like a little bit jealous. Pero I'm not naman the crazy person who will keep tabs on anybody or
Or,
anything like that.
But there are, and diba, like you have those friends na parang every like that scroll and then look who comments,
Oh.
look at everything,
Oo, no.
Not
Hindi
gonna name
naman,
names.
hindi naman ganun level.
This is one line though that a lot of people say because I think when people admit they're jealous, like you feel like they own you because like you got jealous because of them. But people will always say, I am not jealous, I'm angry. So I think this happened to me like recently. It was like the person went on a date and I was like, I'm not jealous, I'm angry. I was like, I am actually now that I look back at it, I am jealous. because you wanna be on that
Actually,
date. But I,
Yeah.
it's like you want to
I'm
say I'm
not
not,
jealous, I'm
I'm
angry.
angry.
Sabi ka na.
But you
Para ano, chill lang. Parang ano, I'm not
hmm.
jealous.
That's a good way of putting
Speaking
it talaga.
speaking of
I could
being
try
jealous and
that.
being angry, can your husbands tell na you guys are starting to, do you guys have like a look? Or like, bigla ba sinisiko mo sila na parang, ay, jealous na ako, stop that. Ganun. May
I
mga
think
telltale signs
Maybe it's
kayo.
I think he can tell with my questions or like my tone.
Mm.
With his like kwento and then my tone when I reply. He'll know. I think he'll know already. Like, because that I'll be like kind of interested but don't want to show interest. You know what I mean?
It's such
Mm-mm.
a girl move, by the way. It's
Like
like,
I have questions. Like I want you to answer my questions and I want to know things, but whatever. I don't care. Type of thing.
yeah, pasimple, pero it's like
ang daming
answer.
Simple.
questions.
Exactly.
Oh
Pasimple.
my.
Pero ang daming questions.
Yeah.
Alam ko na
I
yun.
How do
don't
Exactly.
care
you
kung saan ka galing. Pero saan ka galing?
Yeah.
I want to know though, like for people who are just starting to date that encounter being jealous. Like Jerry and I are like we're married and changes when you're married, you feel a bit more. I mean, a lot more secure. I'd say.
More secure.
Parang so for people who are just like maybe starting to date. Parang for me, I'm wondering you, Sierra. Well, not the one starting. You've been already. How do you deal? How do you handle that? Sorry, I'm actually
Well,
throwing it back to you because I want to know.
I think the good thing kasi
Ikaw,
with
parang on the
this
spot.
boy is he's always so I
Si
never had
boy.
reason to feel jealous. Hello, boy. Like I never had reason to
Oh.
feel jealous because he's always so ayun po.
Yeah.
I think that there's some pero I always make little jokes na parang ay no, no eye contact with women. Oh, ganun. Just like as a joke, I
Half
promise
men,
as a
half
joke.
men, half men.
Slightly meant, 1/4 meant. Pero mga ganun. Pero yun nga, I
Half
never
only.
felt the reason to be jealous naman with this one, to be fair.
That's good.
Pero I'll keep
That's
you guys
amazing.
posted. Baka I
Oo nga.
might in the future.
Pagpunta mo
You
doon.
never
Baka
know.
mamaya every
Nagbabago mga
second.
tao.
But if you
TBD.
were, if you were jealous, how would you do it then?
I'm masungit eh. So kapag ano, nagsungit-sungit na ako, like I'll ask questions. Also like Jerry, I'll ask questions, be dismissive, pero iba na yung mood. Ano mo yun?
Yeah.
Ganun.
Like you
If
can
there's
tell na
anything
from the
wrong,
tone.
is anything wrong?
Oo.
No,
Wala.
nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Should
Like
there
what's
be
wrong?
something
Nothing.
wrong? May ginawa ka ba? Ganun.
Yeah.
I love that. Yung move na parang hindi ka galit, pero galit ka
But
rin.
you,
Yung kumukulo ka
Passive
na sa
aggressive.
Oo, that's the name of it.
Ladies, I want to know what triggers your jealousy. Like for me, it's just hearing another girl's name or like a she can trigger it, depending on how much I like a person. How about you guys?
I think for me, when I get jealous is when I hear him ask questions because Luch is the type he really asks questions like nonstop. But when he asks more than usual, I'm like, why are you that interested? And
And
that's
you
when I get a
worry.
bit jealous. Yeah. That's when I'm
For
like,
me,
okay,
it's
if I hear that name one more time, I'm gonna ask it.
you're like no, we're not. For me, it's more like who are you texting, or like what could you possibly be talking about again? You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Or like who he would choose to spend his time with
yeah.
without me. It's more that it's not so much like hearing the cuento. Like I don't mind that, but then like if like I said, because we were in a long distance relationship, so when I would hear like, oh, I'm
Okay.
gonna have dinner with this friend, then I'd be like, oh, why? You know what I mean? That type of thing. So that would trigger
I
it.
love that.
What curious lang, what do you guys think of like boys with like girl besties?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
I
That's
can't.
interesting.
I mean, I think it's fine because I have always had guy best friends. Like ever since,
Mhm.
I've always had guy best friends. It's never been an issue in our relationship, and so my husband as well has a couple girlfriends that he's very close to, and I like them. Like there's like maybe there's one girl that he's very close to, and I like her a lot. So that's
Mhm.
not an issue for me because I also have a lot of guy close friends, so I can't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to feel out that best friend. Like for me, I do have a guy best friend. Luch doesn't have a super tight girl best friend, but he has a lot of girlfriends. And I feel like a lot of them are super respectful. Well, I'm close to. I'm actually friends with all his exes, and all of them like I'm actually close. I'm really close to one of them. Sad, sorry, sad. She passed away this year, but she would always come. She'd always message me first and be like, "Hey, do you want to do something?" She'll always course it through me. So, parang when you see that
That's
initiative of
respectful.
like, it's very respectful, which I really really appreciate. Although I'm like, don't worry, I'm really fine with it. Luch has like a work wife who I'm really close to as well. So I think I don't think you should limit them to say like no, you can't have a girl best friend. But on your part, I feel like go out of your way to get to know that girl best friend. And if she's annoying, then fine, you can be like. But if she's the type who's like accommodating, respectful, then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
she can
agree.
happen.
I
Like
like
Okay.
that.
Jaime
Let's
has
course it through
Jaime
the
has a
life.
work
I
Yeah,
like
Jaime has
that.
a work wife as well, and she from the very like first when I first came into Jaime's life, she took the initiative to meet me. She like went out of her
Yeah.
way to meet me and befriend me, and she's always been super sweet. And so I think that's why like that was never an issue for me. Like I was always like, okay, no, she's really sweet. Like she's genuine. She like wants to be my friend also. She messages me separately, not just through
Yeah.
him like that. So it makes all the difference, I think.
Yeah.
But I did. Luch had a someone worked with Luch before. I hope she doesn't listen to you. And I could tell she was not into me. And this is when we were first starting to date. And I was texting the other girl that works with Luch, and I was like, the other girl was the one who was like, parang she was saying that she wanted to she made kwento na parang yeah, I was talking to Luch all night and he was in Ava's house. Parang making mga ganon. And I knew instantly. I'm like, okay, she is annoying. You need to not get closer. So that's like
No.
for me. I
Yeah.
feel like yeah, and Luch respected. He also felt it. He was like, it's very like weird that you're
In your face and his
yeah,
face.
and parang she really made it a point that while he's in my house, she's talking to me, that type. So there are people like that. I mean, it can be very subtle, but there
Yeah.
are. So you just need to have that
Watch
radar
out.
of like
I
toxic
like
Yeah.
it.
girls.
So, girl
Oh.
besties, it's a yes with caution.
It's
Again,
yes,
watch.
damn,
Be
Yes
a
with
cool,
caution.
be
Tama
a
yan.
cool girl, but
Yes.
watch out.
yeah, damn.
Hello, sirs. Thanks
Test.
Hello.
for
Hi
watching.
there.
Okay, give us advice on jealousy. What are your thoughts?
Therese
Yes,
is very profound. So let's hear what she has to say.
Yeah.
True.
And she's heard
She's been
all
profound since we were in kinder.
yeah, and she's heard all our problems, I'm sure. Like
She's so
you can
profound. She wrote na nga all her papers in.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious though, ladies. Is there a difference between being jealous and being possessive? Or is
I
it the
think
same?
so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like
Yeah.
I think like for me, like possessive would be like you just like for me, let's say in my situation, like I just wouldn't want to share him with anyone. Like, no, you're mine only. Whereas when you're jealous, it's like there must be something like that's making you jealous, right? It's not
Agreed.
about just wanting you to myself. I don't mind you being with other people, but if there's something there that makes me jealous, then that's different. It's not that I want to keep you to myself.
Yeah, for sure.
I also want to know,
That's what I
like, when people are overly jealous, like, what is the root cause of it? Like, parang, there has to be something. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like, oh, I'm pretty cool. I'm not jealous. So there are times where I'm like, I can't take it. Parang I'm like, I need to act cool, but I can't. So parang what helps me is like taking myself out of the situation. And as hard as it is,
Yeah.
it really, really helps to have a friend now or someone, a third person who sees it from an objective point of view to tell you like
Yeah,
what's really happening. So
like another
sometimes
perspective.
I agree. But I do think there's jealous and what's the other one?
Possessiveness.
Possessive.
Possessive.
Possessive is a bit scary for me. It also is. It's like, um, and it's so hard to like have an argument with someone who's possessive because parang for them it's so justified. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what they think is okay.
Like you can't own a person. I don't think no matter how many dates you pay for or no matter what gifts you give
No.
someone, I don't think you can really own someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think jealous is a
Yeah, so here's theories. Agree.
yeah.
I think being possessive is like ownership, but jealousy is more like feeling threatened, whether there's reason to be or not. Agree.
Yeah.
So parang
Wise words, mysteries.
Thank you so much.
So
possessive,
I
parang yung
love
sa
you.
fatal attraction. Medyo ganung vibe na yung,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's like that's
ooh,
scary na.
yeah. So what can your partners do to appease you when you guys do start feeling jealous? That you can't
Mind
take it now.
us. Both Ava and I. Attention. They have to mind us.
I know. Both our husbands are so obsessed with work. I'm like, can you guys? That was our most recent fight. I'm like, can you mind me? We're working from home na nga and you're still not
Yeah.
minding.
Give me attention.
But aside from attention, I also feel na parang specifically when it's about a certain person, it's just about being like, how do you say that? Not dense. What's the opposite of being
Oh
dense?
my God, yes.
Empathetic or something,
Sensitive.
parang
Empathetic,
sensitive.
for sure. Yes.
Sensitive.
Yeah, just being sensitive enough to know na parang if it's someone that you know your partner, and you can tell when your partner's a bit
Yeah.
jealous, unless someone's really like, um, just the things you say, your inquiries about that person, or even just stalking that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. But then again, also one thing I want to ask you guys. So like with my one time with my cousin's the worst. She likes to like push buttons. One time she took Luch's phone. She's like, "Look at Luch's Explore. It's all butts of girls." And Luch loves fitness, so he loves like people who like do squats. I'm not even kidding. Like he's obsessed with that. That's sometimes I just check what he's doing, and he's like watching like squats and stuff like that. And she's like,
Oh.
these are all random girls working out or stuff like that. But what if it's someone that you don't know, like someone on Instagram? Does that matter?
You mean like if they're looking at someone on Instagram,
Yeah,
like a hot
Like
person,
checking
someone we
someone
don't
else
know.
out.
Yeah.
Mm,
but achievable. Or
yeah,
Like
you
an
can question
attractive.
because I stalk like Henry Cavill like a crazy person, and there's no reason to be jealous there. I mean,
It's
True, I agree.
possible. I just-
I know,
but
I
I
believe.
agree.
oh my God, you go,
Parang no,
Shari. That
parang
was a
feel,
hard one.
no.
What do you think?
No, feeling ko it can be annoying, yes. Na parang, sige
Yeah.
naman yan, quit na naman. Alam mo yung ganun. Pero like, no, parang to trigger
Are
jealousy,
you
I
in
don't
the
think
right to
so.
be like, stop
Maybe
looking?
you can question it
No.
and ask.
I think it's
Yeah.
hard. Like for example, if I've started dating before, it's usually start with friends slash confused dating, and then so you would hear a lot about the other people they dating, and it's hard to not stalk and be like to kind of look at the person and be like, ito pala yung type, or like to not.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, I
Yeah.
think Abba's more of like Instagram models, yung posts,
Oh, that's
right?
alright. I think
Um,
if it's not
I
achievable,
think if
okay
it's like
lang.
Instagram models like that, it's like look as much as you want.
Wala ka naman makuha dyan.
Yeah.
And somehow,
Look lang,
like,
okay
you're
lang.
never gonna get that.
Like libreng mangarap.
This is the best you're gonna get. Shaman, guys.
Sorry.
Sure.
Okay, obviously the jealousy is coming out on me, but for no valid reason.
Five wine glasses later. The
Yes,
truth
Oo
is,
nga,
it's not
umiiyak na
before,
dito.
it's now.
it does
Kala
come
ko
out
ako
of
lang.
all. That's why I don't. Anyways, let's talk about jealousy when it comes to someone moving on from you. Let's say your exes or maybe someone you're just flirting with. If they move on
Mhm.
from someone who's an upgrade or a downgrade, is your
Sad.
jealousy relative or is it the same for both? Like, is it more kung hot siya versus pangit
It's the
niya?
same.
Same. Wow.
No, for me, it's like I really need to assess. Like, is she cooler than me? Is she broader than me? But then again, I mean, it's not jealous. It's actually maybe it is jealous. I don't know. I don't know what the feeling. I don't know how to like describe exactly. But it's like
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious, and I'm always like looking. But when she's not. I'm so mean. But if I feel like she's not as cute, then I'm like, okay, yay! I can see better.
You're
That's
really
Right.
me.
mean.
Kara agrees. Downgrade is way better.
Kara's
Tama
message
naman.
downgrade
And
is
the
Thank
way
you to
other
better.
all.
friend, Michelle, jealousy comes from insecurity. Okay.
Mish, my God.
Ay,
Thank
sorry.
you.
That's so
Good
true.
comments.
I don't know. Like, for example, sorry, go on, Sherry. You're going to say
No,
something.
I was gonna ask you, babe. I mean, you've had experience that you've talked about on the show before, and that your ex cheated on you a lot. When did it hurt more? When he cheated on you with somebody who was super attractive, or
Yeah.
Um,
So
less?
it's so strange because we lived in a bubble. Like we basically ran a restaurant together. So a lot of the times he had connections with someone or people that worked in the restaurant, like they're the waitresses or maybe a customer, whatever. So it would always affect me if they were hot. Like there was
I
one
get
that
it.
he said that looked like a porn star, a famous Mexican porn star, and that really like triggered me because like I mean, you can't compete with porn, right? Like, as
Yeah.
normal women, you can.
Yeah.
And then there was another girl, she wasn't as hot. So it was like, at least like consoling to me. So I think it definitely, to me, it relates. But Jerry, obviously,
Definitely.
equal level. But
I think
um,
it's equal
it's hard
for
for the
me.
porn star level. Like, if I hear that person's a porn star, it's like,
I get it. It's like I want to be as wild in bed. Ganun.
or like, but
Oh,
here,
I get
okay,
it.
thank
you
you,
See,
get
Therese,
Bea,
but
adventurous.
let me explain
Bea,
to
you
you.
have the beauty brains in class.
Thank
Therese
you,
is very
Therese.
nice.
Therese,
Therese,
You're
what
you're
do you
so
want from Bea?
kind.
Tell her the truth.
I have to strongly disagree. Joke lang.
You
Sorry.
have to. You're competing with Pornhub and XXNX, so I think it's hard. Like, I don't know. Thank you, Pia. Ayan, mga girls. Thank you,
That's so
girls.
funny.
Wala ka naman
But
magsabi.
that's really true. I mean, I get it because a lot of people are like, oh, they're just porn stars. But it's like, there are a lot of things you can learn with turning on guys, at least with
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
But I think the most
inspiration.
important lesson with that is like if they move on fast or they cheat on you, it's like they actually just want the company. It's not the woman. It's like they'll
Yeah.
do
No,
anything
yeah.
with anyone that moves basically and has a heartbeat.
Anything with like.
Kilig.
Very true.
May hugot. Sorry.
Na
Yeah.
flashback ba? Reset yun.
All of us are like, yeah.
Whatever yun. Okay,
Daming
so let's move on to our third part, overcoming jealousy in general. So it's normal for some of us women to feel jealous about lives we see on social media. What is your advice to those who get really down? I mean, when you look at the Victoria's Secret
Oh my
models and
gosh,
you're like,
Oh
definitely.
my god.
I'm
like,
super. Lately, I'm the type like, especially being stuck at home, it's so easy to compare yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, and you only see amazing things online, and I'm really happy for these people, but at the same time, you can't help but feel like, oh my god, I'm so sad. So, when it comes to like jealousy in terms of like life in general, um, I'm super the type, and I think Jerry's the same. Like, we're always like super super grateful for our lives. Like, I'm the type of parang, oh, I'm so happy I get to live with my husband. Like, we have no problems. Like, it's a lot about being thankful for where you're at, but at the same time, it's a lot to do with avoiding the things that make you toxic. For example, if there's a specific girl or someone who triggers you, it's so addicting to look at their profile. But
Yeah, and you
the
just
best
like you
thing
go
to do
down a
is to avoid.
rabbit hole.
Yes.
Like, we're
Love
all
a
guilty
rabbit
of that.
hole. 3 a.m. na,
Seriously.
pero I'm still looking at this girl's profile.
Yeah.
Why?
pero si Bea, minsan, 3 ng umaga, magkasend ng Instagram post ni Pia Words back. Like, ito yung katawan niya. Kasi, naman, natulog ako eh. Kaya,
She's
Wow.
looking at the video. I'm like, oh
I send it to you for inspiration, so you wake up, it's for the workout.
That's a
no,
that's a
I
good
get that.
friend.
That's it really affects you like a lot. And I'm like, why
Yeah.
is your skin amazing?
You
So
know,
there's
I
so
like
many thoughts like that.
I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw someone really hot. I can't remember who it was, and I forwarded it to my
Me?
friend on Instagram, and I was just like, no, sorry, abs. And I was just like, I was like, wow, I just want to look like this. And she was like, you need to realize none of that's real.
Yeah,
mm-mm.
Like,
for
so
sure.
it's just like for me, it's like I have to constantly remind myself, like all these things that would normally like make you jealous on social media, things like that. You have to like, I have to remind myself, like not all of it is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And they
Yeah.
choose to post, of course, their best angles.
Oh,
That
for
type of
sure. There's like
thing.
100. We've done this.
100 photos, and then they pick one out of all of them.
And then the editing can get intense. I never even knew. Syempre, sobrang tita ko. Di ko alam na you can edit videos rin pala. I'm like, wow,
Huh?
that,
You mean
yeah,
like how they
that's
look
what,
on the video?
yeah, pwede
Not
mo
like
pala
a
like
filter,
every,
right?
no, like you can edit it talaga. Like, like the
What's that app? I
ways
need
and
to
everything. Yun nga eh. Sabi ko, they kept criticizing the apps. I was like, so anong app yun? Asking for a friend. Like,
AKA, I want to learn.
But oh my
yeah.
god.
That's
It's
so funny. But what's that? Um wait, I was gonna ask like in terms of like relationship people who post about relationships, I also know that for a lot of people, even for myself, when I was single, I'd always see things online and I'm always like, oh my god, I really want that. But I think also na parang I'm not gonna say for happy people don't post because I love to post things when I'm really happy, but it's also really important for people to know na parang yeah, what Jerry said, that there's so many low points. Sorry,
Yeah.
low points. Also for couples, and parang I feel like no one's gonna celebrate that. And I think we all know
Yeah,
that.
you
But
don't you
parang
don't
they
show
always want to
that.
pose.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this what
So
Mitch said here. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and can make fun of people's Instagrams with you so you never feel jealous. Agree.
True.
Ano ba yan?
I love that, Mitch. Okay, name some people. I'm just kidding.
Give their
Who
names.
are you looking at? Who are you stalking?
That's
Okay,
so
so
true.
this one I want to ask you about kind of being proud of yourself. Is there one moment you overcame jealousy and felt proud of yourself? So I'll just give you guys an example. When I was super like in my, I guess, my early 20s, I was dating someone who was just came out of a 10-year relationship. And then
Oh
I
my
remember
gosh.
we were in a food market and she was there. And I was super immature. He was like, I want you to meet her. And I ran like a little school girl
Oh my god.
away. Like I left the market and I was like outside, like I couldn't move. Because you were like competing with like someone who's been with your boyfriend for 10 years, right? But
It's a
now,
long
like
time.
now in like my 30s, when I heard someone I recently was getting to know that he went on a date, like I kind of got over the jealousy fast. And it wasn't like, so I felt proud of myself. So I'm gonna pat myself on
That's
the back.
awesome. It's really, I mean,
Good.
even whatever age it is, to get
Yeah,
over jealousy is a really like big
yeah.
accomplishment. So
Nahirap kaya. But how about you, ladies? And Shari, I'm curious. Ikaw muna.
Oh my God, wala akong maisip nga. I was listening to you. I was like, bakit wala akong
I'm
mga
also
ganyang moment?
thinking, I'm like,
Diba?
I
perfect.
Like,
think, I think as an adult lang, I just really learned to not compare myself to other people. I think basically na naman kasi that's where my jealousy would come from because I grew up like being really really fat and syempre seeing women who didn't have weight problems it was always like deep down inside like oh sana I was born naturally payat also so pero I just you just work with it na you realize na parang okay I'm on a different path like I just need to work harder on my body I just need to work harder on my weight alam mo yung mga ganun so I think that's how I overcame my jealousy or my insecurity parang ganun.
It's such a good mindset to have. Because parang
I
when you
won't
play
send
victim,
you.
it's like so
Yeah.
annoying to have,
Yeah.
right?
I won't send you Pia Words back photos at 3 a.m.
Kung
Sorry.
talaga, Bea,
Hindi,
itinitira
it's
mo.
fine.
making her
Okay
feel
lang.
worse.
I always send her like the most unrealistic
Magkabody na
photos.
kami ni Pia ngayon. Okay lang.
Unrealistic.
Yeah, sabi mo talagang super. I was like, this is us.
I know. Pagkatabi pa sila ng app
Manifest.
boyfriend niya, we're like,
Oh my
wow.
god, we need
What
to compare what you guys send each other to Jerry and I. It's like literally
What
Jerry
Ava
just
and I
sent it
send each
kanina.
other.
Like a caramel, what is it? Caramel
It's
chocolate
like
No, it's like
gelato swirl.
vanilla gelato with
ayun.
chocolate caramel swirl. And that's like the kind of shit Ava and I send each other all day.
She's like,
Oh
I'm
my
mesmerized. I'm like, I've rewatched it 10 times.
I watched it
It's
five
so
times.
good. Yeah,
hindi
no,
ko
But
I'll send it to you
mapapagod.
guys. It's really good.
how about you,
Yeah.
ladies? Have you been ever like, oh
I
wow,
think
I'm so far from my 20s?
I think my biggest accomplishment, and I'm still really proud of it today, was getting over being jealous about Lucia's exes. Because exes are such a
That's
delicate
super
topic
good.
because it's like they're such a big part of your life. And I specifically have had an ex, and I always tell Lucia, even if we're done, he's still like a huge chunk of my life, and it's not something I
Of
can ever
course.
say like, okay, I don't care. So parang in the beginning, there was a time when Lucia and I were first starting date, and then we were like, okay, let's sit down every year and talk about our goals in life, the people we in our lives, blah blah blah. There was one time we sat down and he was like, okay, there are a few people that I really just want to keep in my life, and one of that was his ex Ria, and
Wow.
I was like, okay, let me pretend to be cool because we were starting to date pa lang then. We were like on our first year. And then I remember I super clearly remember this, and I like it was so hard for me to swallow, but I was like, okay, okay. I mean, let's see if she's really that cool. So then, of course, I was trying to be like the bigger person, and
Yeah.
be like, okay, I'll invite her to your birthday because I was surprising him that year. And true enough, like I felt so good inviting her because she was like, "You're so sweet. Thank you for inviting me. You didn't have to." She was really really thankful. So that palang I was already like, I'm so good. And then the next one, it
A
was also
problem.
nice that Luch was really sensitive about like not being overly like hairy or reminiscing. But there were
Yeah.
times where she used to be like, you know what? She has a pet name for him. So I'm like, okay, I need to be cooler than that and just be like laugh. But deep inside, I'm like dying. But I think like getting overcoming those small milestones until you're finally until the point that I'm like, come over. Like you can even sleep over the last time I was super fine with that. I was like, I told Luch because there was one time I was like crying to him. I'm like, when am I ever gonna just not care? Like it's really hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
But I want to
Hard to
not care.
overcome.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, until I just found myself hanging out with her without Luch. I'm like, she's so cool. Like this is how you can get over an ex.
Yeah.
It's not a one-time thing. You really work towards it. And I did it because I knew Luch was like she's important in my life because she's such a cool friend. It's not like I want to have sex with her. It's just like she's really cool, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was hard, but it was like I'm so proud of me.
Good job.
You have to.
Good job, Abs.
Jerry, how about you?
I think for me there was this one girl that at the start of our relationship I was very jealous of. At the start of my relationship with my husband now, and he would always be like, "Okay, like let's meet her now." Every time I'd be in the States, he'd try to plan things, and I was like, "No, no." I really like. I was like, "No." He's like, "Why?" I think you'd get along, and I was just like, "I'm really just not interested in meeting her." And he's like, "You need friends here." I was like, "No." And then finally, I agreed, and then I was like, "Oh, she's nice, pala." I was like, okay, all of that for nothing.
Okay, request.
Teresa's name
Name
names.
names.
Name names.
Just
I
love
know.
Names.
Don't get into trouble.
Shari, have you thought of something? I want to flip this question though.
No, that's what
Yeah, I
I
wanna
already
know.
answered. Wala. I really can't think of anything.
Okay, I'm sure you have one. What is the least proud that you've done in the name of jealousy?
Stalk? Like I stopped
Like,
it. I told you about my eating and ano, diba? Eating ramen almost every day
Just to watch her.
to keep a
Watch you guys.
surveillance footage. Parang ganun. Yun na yun. Okay, next.
Okay, how
I
about
don't
you,
even
Jerry
really
and
like
Ava?
ramen that much.
Jerry and Ava,
Oh
what
my
is like the
god.
least proud?
Napilitan.
So na sila.
Busog na, still eating.
The waiter's like, ma'am, nandito ka na naman. Sobrang gusto mo yung ramen namin.
Love it. Nakakataba pa yung ramen. Nakakainis. Anyway, yun ang salad bar yung malapit sa bahay niya. Diba?
Our number one rule.
Had to be ramen.
You can't get fat.
Oo nga.
Hindi ka pwede
No.
pumakit.
Bawal pumalit.
You're jealous na nga, tapos sobrang like, kapa.
Eating
No,
ramen
this is-
every day.
Okay, Jerry and Ava, surely have some shameful stories.
Mine would be snooping on the phone.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Guilty,
Yeah.
very guilty before.
I've used Find My iPhone. Don't worry.
Nothing that he's ever caught, but you know, because I know Lucha's passwords, there are times I'm like, I'm gonna go for it, and then I look, I'm like, I feel so guilty, and he just
Yeah,
walked
like
back. I feel so
the guilt
guilty,
is
but I'm
real.
like, I'm so happy there's nothing, and I close, and then I put it down.
But you're
But,
guilty
like-
while you're scrolling.
I feel
Yeah.
even the thought of doing it makes you feel really guilty. But you know, I feel like the anxiety of like catching someone. I've experienced catching someone like before. It's just like really hard to explain. So the trauma is real, and I think I project that onto Lush. Thank God I haven't seen anything at home. So promise me. Just kidding.
Just like, but,
Like you psycho girl.
there's
Ikaw,
nothing
Bea.
worse.
I wanna
Definitely find my iPhone. Definitely tracking that, and then sitting in a cafe watching the iPhone, watching the Find My iPhone move.
Find my
Tayo siya.
Like we already
Nasa
know
brothel.
already.
Joke lang.
No, it wasn't. That was one time it was there. I knew where he was going. But yeah.
What like people go?
Huli.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
we have a couple of comments here.
Oh,
We'll
but
read
this is
the one
cute.
from-
I like Mitch's. I put my fingerprint on my ex's phone before without him knowing, so I can open it.
Oh, name who? Name. Is it
Smart.
Which one?
Jeff?
Okay, and we have a
Ito.
question here from my lovely sister. Do you think, hi Pia, do you think it's acceptable for other girls to call your partner pet names?
That's a
Like there-
legit question. That's a legit
Like
question.
there are
That's a
some
very good
acceptable and unacceptable pet names. Ano?
Hmm.
Yeah. And smart talaga. Nice
Smart
sister.
No.
That's a good
Um,
question.
if I were to be completely honest, I'm uncomfortable when they have a name for each other that I don't know of and I'm not part of. Like I don't know if that's me being completely jealous, but especially when it's like a term of endearment or even when it's not,
If it's
unless it's
something like
like
sweet.
gago, okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I'm
that's
with Ava on
that's
this. If it's something like that, like a very casual thing or something you're aware of, then it's fine. But if it's like for me, if it's something sweet, then I'll be like,
What's
I'd actually be
bawal?
pissed.
What would be bawal
You're
na
like,
Like
pet
there was one who was like called him his name's
name?
Luch, but his whole name's Luciano, and they were like Luciano. I mean, it's normal his whole name, but you know when you call someone like Luciano, I'm like, why do you have to call him by his whole name? Okay, so
like
fucking weird.
why?
sino ka? Sino?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
I
it
haven't thought about
depends.
that. Wow. I haven't.
I
That's a
don't know.
good
It's
question.
just nice. Babe is okay, but baby is not.
Talaga?
Agreed.
Me?
So the
Yung isa pa cute
Hams,
masyado. Bawal.
I'm gonna call Andrea baby from now on.
Camilla,
Her
I'm texting
husband.
Andrea right now. Good night, baby.
Si
Whole
Kara.
name, pang nanay. I
Which
think kasi
name,
parang medyo
nanay?
pa-sexy yung whole name eh.
Like
Yeah,
Luciano.
Shana.
Or the
Like,
Like, pwede
Or
ba? Stop.
feeling this angry. Pet
oo nga,
names.
tama,
I think
tama.
in general, unless like it's a group, it's a collective pet name.
I know.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're
If
gonna
it's a
call him by
one-on-one.
a pet name, it better be pare or something. Parang, pwede ba?
Dude.
Babe
I
or
want to
baby.
hear. I want to hear what other people's experiences are. Like, parang are they with a partner na parang we're called the specific pet name? Because how do you deal with that? I feel like
Yun
I'm
nga
like,
eh.
yeah.
Anybody ko meron kayo. Ito's, Ava, Sam's asking. Blue chickens,
Luchikins.
Some
pwede ba daw yun?
she calls Lucian chickens. No, because naman just kidding.
Ay,
Sorry,
So,
ano yun?
that's why no one's allowed to call me Therese.
Wow.
You have to call her down Miss Therese.
mysteries.
Para formal, para formal.
Okay, here, this one. I
Right.
think if there's a pet name, I need to know the secret behind the pet name. Yes, knowledge
That
is
makes
power
sense.
nga naman. Bawal I think
True.
inside jokes kasi is too intimate eh. So, kailangan nga
Yeah.
malinaw kung bakit.
She has to
And
understand. You
then
have to
when did they
understand.
develop that name also? Parang
I want the full history, the breakdown,
Creepy.
how many times it's been mentioned. What?
minutes of meeting. Okay.
How intimate is this? Ano ang pinagbunga ng ano na to?
Yeah, well, wala pa ako nito na, I don't actually call guys pet names, especially ones with girlfriends. I feel like it's like you're too close.
It's super flirty.
Girlfriend.
It's really flirty actually.
You
Dami
know
na lang
naman
sa
when it's
mundo.
flirty eh. Or when somebody's too touchy. Alam mo yan, pwede ka naman tumawa without touching, diba? Tumawa ka na lang dyan
Tell
from
that to
How
Jerry
to?
nga. Tell that to Jerry.
That's me. I'm just touchy.
Ayan, Sandra, I need to know the inside joke, tama, and I have to be part. Tama, inclusive.
That makes sense.
Yeah, true.
Tama.
Sam, can you give us some words of wisdom? I want to know.
Yeah, how do you deal with jealousy? And are you
How
a
do you
jealous
deal with
person?
jealousy?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
To all our ano there. We are towards the end, guys. So tell us, how do you handle your
Oh my
own
gosh, it's been an hour.
green-eyed
Yes.
monsters?
It's been an hour. Oh my
in
god.
there?
Yeah, and I think we'll calm down before everyone like tries to. I think I'm raged. I'm not jealous. I'm angry. So Ava needs to know, Sam, what is the story behind Blue Chickens? Okay, you can tell us.
When did you do it? Tell us, Sam. When did you do Luke, are
And
you
Carol,
listening?
Carol has a question, but we
I just messaged Luch good night, baby.
we kind of talked
No
about
wonder
this.
Luch is
I'm not
super
listening.
kilig. He's
I'm not
like
listening.
laughing pa in his laptop, smiling.
I'm not gonna share his
I'm
messages.
texting
Wait,
him.
can we ask
Oh,
Luke
no.
about jealousy of men? Because we've been talking as women.
Love,
What
okay, I'm gonna show
does
him.
he ever
He's naked.
feel- Okay, okay. How do men deal with jealousy? Baka he can.
Love, how does men deal with jealousy? Wait, is it Baroque? How do men? How do men?
How do men?
How do
Give
men?
me part of me. Come here nga. Put on your shirt and just answer.
No.
He's shy because he's. Just answer something wise.
What's the question?
How do men deal with jealousy?
Do they even?
here.
Wala lang.
Well, most guys would be a bit more, how do you say, hostile.
Some guys will be a bit more hostile. Whereas, what if you have like a jealous partner? Unlike me. Unlike me.
He'll say no
How do you
Yeah,
do
the
it?
most important is communication. Because if you're just letting out your grunts and your emotions, nothing really gets resolved,
So
right?
he was saying like communication. Obviously, a lot of people say that because if you just let out all your thoughts without actually,
Like, you're just like grunting and just upset, but then there's no real resolve
there's no real resolve.
to
Resolve. What
resolve.
as a guy though? Like, what's when, for example, I'm jealous about a girl you're talking about. What's a resolution on your end?
Sorry.
What's something you can do on your end to like appease when a girl's being jealous?
Mm.
I don't know, buying gifts.
No,
Ano?
parang wala pa akong nakitang ganun.
What
It's
is
like, I don't know, buy them gifts. I'm like, I don't know.
Where
Yeah,
have you
yourself a
Luch?
hole.
We're waiting.
Talaga.
Wow, okay.
In bed.
And it's so interesting because men, I'm sure they deal with it differently because we do. I wonder if men, okay, do men stop when they're jealous?
Oh, wait, yeah, I
Oh
want to,
yeah.
do you ever stop? I want to know. Do you stop when you're jealous? And just be real. Huh?
Tell the
I'm
truth.
involved in your
Tell us the truth. Do you
What's that?
stop? Do you stop when you're? Have you ever been jealous? And do you stop?
I probably have stopped. I would be lying if I said never stopped.
So yes.
Okay, thank you that men always stop.
See, lahat tayo,
Thank you.
may stalkers in
I
us.
know
It's
we're real
normal.
guys.
Okay.
Everyone.
Because men are so good at hiding it. I think sometimes women are like, because we chatter all about it, and then when you see men, they're like, la lang, like chill.
I agree with
We
this
let it
statement
out.
of Kara. Men are more chismoso than girls, I feel. Totoo.
Wait, you know what for Luch, what will make a guy jealous?
May plano. May plano ba?
Same stuff will make a girl jealous.
Love, can you be more concrete?
Huh?
Like what?
Real examples, please.
Real example.
I think the worst, whether it's girls or guys, is that if you find out not from your partner, you find it out from someone else.
Oh,
That.
yes.
Mm.
Whatever it is.
That's not
whatever
good.
If you find out from someone
Yeah, but there's anything, there's a spectrum about.
So Jerry, you know, it should come from you. Para he's jealous once in a while.
I know na.
Ito,
I'll tell him.
Confirm, guys
Guys
talk
talk.
when they get jealous. Yes. Pau, Javi.
Wow.
Okay.
We have
Thank you for
answer
the
from
confirming.
three boys.
Maybe they should jump in this room and tell us all about jealousy because
Mag-conference
You
call
should
na
have the
tayo lahat,
boys.
pag-usapan natin.
Yeah, add them.
oh wow. Okay, so we're coming to the end and I feel like we have no conclusion and practical advice for women besides hold on to your
Be cool. Be cool.
Sorry, be
I think
cool
the most practical
with caution.
advice, na it happens. We all get jealous sometimes, pero manage yourself in a way
Yeah.
na hindi ka naman nagbabato-bato ng stuff. Get your point across properly.
Nakabato
And
na ako
then-
ng iPad. Sa totoo lang. Nakabato na ako ng
Mahal naman ng ano mo.
Wow. Social ka
No,
talaga ba yung
jealousy.
magbato, Naka-iPad.
Eh, kasi,
Naghanap pa.
Ano yung pinakamahal dito?
the one thing that was worse, nahuli mo na yung lalaki, sabihin pa sa'yo, mas maayos yung babae na kausap niya. I was like, sorry.
What?
But like,
Bigyan ka na ng gold eh. I'm just kidding.
iPad ba niya yung tinapon mo? Sana iPad niya. Kasi talo ko naman yung
Yeah,
iPad mo. Yung,
Yeah, if it's your iPad, Lugi.
Pwede.
guys, I have a little bit of
Single na nga, wala pang iPad.
Ikaw na ngayon niloko, iPad na pa yung sinira mo. Oh my God.
But we've moved on. We're now mature people.
Oh, ladies, Vincent Crisol said, I'm
Vince!
30 and I'm 30. What's up? Please slide in.
Even when you were 18, you were thirsty, okay? So nothing's changed.
Yeah, when was the last time you were not thirsty, Vince? Please tell
Tama.
us.
And here, Mish also has a really interesting comment, which I agree. Some guys look cute whenever they get jealous, because again, women like attention. So yeah,
True.
Everybody likes attention. Okay.
Tingin good.
I'm
Okay,
telling you,
lahat.
when Luch told me na parang it's so nice that you were able to acknowledge that you were jealous without being like annoyingly irritating, it was such a win for me. So like next time, if you feel jealous, try it out and just be like, you know what
You
makes
know
me
na.
jealous when you ask about this. And then tell me what you think, because I want to know
Let's see
if it works or not. Yeah.
Once in a while, not like every time, right? Like I think you can.
Yeah, you can't abuse it naman. Yung parang,
Every babae. I
Jealous.
saw you looking
your
at
battles,
Adriana
pick your
Lima's
battles.
Instagram.
I'm
Upsets me
jealous.
so much.
And if it's achievable, then you can get jealous. But
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be realistic.
Ang dami nating na mga
I
jealousy
know.
scenarios in
Parang
our head.
hugot episode.
Guys, after this, baka I'm gonna be super jealous. Like, one time I was watching this Netflix TV show called The Affair, and then Luch
Oh,
banned me
I
from
remember
watching
that.
because he was telling me like, "You're questioning everything I'm doing." So
Yes.
I'm like,
I
Pero
remember that show.
that was a sexy show,
Sexy,
diba?
Agreed.
but
Medyo
affair.
na-surprise
I
ako sa
love
show
that.
na yun eh. Like, usually, like,
I
the affair, you think na parang, oh my gosh, they're cheating on whoever. Pero when you watch season 1, I'm like,
That was a good
Yeah.
ang
one.
ganda ah. Sexy pala
That
nito.
was a good
Okay,
show.
guys, to all
The
you watch
redhead.
season 1.
Okay,
Oo,
we are
okay.
not.
What? Who said that?
Season 1.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
very-
Bea. What are you saying?
I'm saying we're not promoting infidelity, but that show is very hot.
The show lang. The show's good.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Bea, anything to add? Did you learn anything special?
I think we have a couple tips because I feel like we were.
Mm-mm.
This is a long discussion on jealousy. We have. This is from a New York relationship coach. Her name's Effie Blue. So we wanted people to just come out with this with very practical tips. So the first thing is please do agree or disagree if you have any opinions. Number one is acknowledge the jealousy. Like Ava, just being
Mm.
mature and saying, I am jealous when you talk about that girl. Like, I think that's an okay thing. Small doses means you actually care. So it's okay. It can be an aphrodisiac when you are jealous, I think. Do you
Yeah.
agree or disagree with
Yeah,
that?
like what
agree.
Esther Perel
I
said.
agree.
And
Agreed.
then mild jealousy can actually lead to a stronger relationship because you're not gonna get used to it or complacent in your relationship. So yeah, there again, same thing. Just be jealous, moderate lang. And then when you're jealous right away, especially when like it's really violent reaction jealousy, get some distance. Lock yourself in the toilet or somewhere.
Put the
And-
iPad away.
Yes.
Stop looking.
exactly. Tapos na tayo sa pagtatapon ng gamit, I think. And then I think this is something that Ava shared, which is understand the root of your jealousy. Because I think sometimes when you get jealous, it's not really the relationship; it's like other things. I don't know. And then the last two, Sherry, go for it if you want.
Wow, Bea, this is so deep, the tips you found. Cognitive traps, like assuming. So
Oh yeah, don't assume.
don't get ahead of yourself.
Don't assume.
Stop
do
making
not get ahead.
stories up in your head. I think that's the worst.
It's really hard though.
That's hard
It's
to do.
like
Mm-mm.
the stories that I come up in my head, like come up with in my head, are like insane. Even if you're like, it's like that's a dream. Stop it.
Alam
Not
ko sa
real.
mga Filipinos,
True,
that
it's true.
teleserye life is real. That nakikita mo when
True.
you're young and then you just play the scenarios in your head. And then get comfortable with the unknown. Bea, please explain.
Yeah, I think if you keep thinking that they're gonna leave you for their ex or something and all this other, they're gonna have an affair, it's just gonna drive you insane. So be comfortable with unknown because we never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
one last tip: have a best friend that you can vent to, that you can be crazy,
That
crazy
can
to.
relate.
Yeah, that can relate
Yeah.
to help you like
True.
be cool when you face your partner.
Jerry, do
That's
you have
true.
any practical tips as well, just in case you miss something? Because it's
I'm with Ava on this. Just have someone who can relate and understand you as well and give you kind of perspectives so you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sherry and Pia, for being my people.
tama na yung Pia Words Back photo sa akin, Bea, ng 3 in the morning.
Oh my God, I'm just inspiring you to work out in the morning.
Nag-workout naman ako sa umaga eh. Pero ang sakit tignan eh. Pero okay. So, thank you so much, Jerry and Ava. If people
Thank
want to
you for
reach you,
having
how
us.
shall they reach you?
Yeah, I know, but I feel like everyone here knows.
On Instagram at
Instagram.
Geri Lamata and at Daza. If anyone has any love advice, honestly, like I love mga love relationship like intriga. So you guys can suggest.
Also, we love all sorts of advice. We hear them all and then,
Yeah, we've got some crazy ones lately.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Go on, Bea.
Thank you guys so much for having us on this.
Thank you so
It's very
much.
insightful. And it made me and Jerry think, like, we kept asking, like, are we jealous ba?
I know we had
And
to
we're like, wait,
discuss this.
but
I
are
know,
we?
you have to check
Wait, are
after.
we?
What is the rate like from good to bad to excellent?
Rating is important. Rating is key.
Yes.
Sorry, before we kind of finishes up, I want to know what your takeaway is kasi ako yata yung puro.
I think I already said my takeaway kanina. I said it's normal to be jealous. it's a normal, like, don't beat yourself up because nagkiselos ka. Pero I feel like, manage your emotions well. Be strategic. Parang,
Strategically stalking.
be, no, I mean, like what Abba said, use your words
Yeah.
instead of throwing a tantrum, men and women, And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and don't get ahead of yourself. I think I like that. Kasi usually, our foresight is so intense that we can't really enjoy the moment kasi selos na tayo ng selos palagi
Yeah,
with
that's
nothing.
true.
So, yeah, I think that those are my main takeaways.
Especially like social media makes you definitely dig a hole. But guys, thank you so much for all your input and questions. I hope we didn't miss any question. And the listener who
Mm-mm.
asked for this topic, I hope you resolve your issue on jealousy. Kaya mo yan.
Yeah.
And guys, so let us quench your thirst for knowledge by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And this is my favorite. Please submit your love problems and milestones to us on thirsty and30.club so you don't miss a beat. And we have a weekly newsletter, thirsty30.substack.com, where I will share some advice para hindi kayo mabudol sa pag-ibig. That is our
Yes.
main thing. Guys, we're
Usual.
old. We're old already. Like, we gotta,
True.
step it up. Step it up.
Thirsty
Oo.
and 30.
Kaya, dapat yung goal natin para si Geri at si Ava, oh.
Ganyan.
Married.
Ghost na ba to?
Ano na yung goals pala?
Ito na.
Feeling magaan.
Magaan na yung ring. But thank you, ladies, and everyone
Thank
else.
you.
Yeah, thanks
Stay
everybody for
Thank you,
watching.
guys.
And same.
Bye.
And
Bye.
30.